Imagine this. You run a small shop. You need money to survive, so you borrow money. But instead of borrowing from others, you take money from your own pocket. Sounds strange, right? Now imagine the richest country on earth doing exactly that. America is buying America's own debt. Why would a country owe money to itself? This is not a conspiracy. This is real, and it's happening right now. In this video, we'll explain why America is doing this, how it works, and what happens if it stops. And don't worry, we'll explain it like you're 5. What is debt? Let's start simple. A country is like a household. It earns money. It spends money. Sometimes, it spends more than it earns. That gap is called a deficit. To fill that gap, the country borrows money. This borrowed money is called national debt. But who does America borrow from? Most people think China, Japan, rich foreign countries. Yes, they do lend money. But here's the shock. America borrows mostly from itself. How borrowing works? Very simple. America borrows money by selling something called Treasury bonds. Think of a bond like this. You give $100 today. America promises to pay you back later, with extra money called interest. Simple deal. People who buy these bonds are called bondholders. And here's the twist. The biggest bondholder is not China. It's the US government itself. Wait, how can that even happen? Why America buys its own debt? Let's break it down slowly. Inside America, there are many government arms. One of them is the Federal Reserve. Think of the Federal Reserve as America's money manager. Its job is to control inflation, control interest rates, keep the system stable. Now, here's what it does. When America needs money, the Treasury sells bonds. The Federal Reserve buys those bonds. So the government borrows money from its own money manager. Why do this at all? Because it's safe. When foreigners buy debt, they can leave any time. But when the Fed buys debt, America stays in control. Control is power. Another reason? To print money without saying, "We printed money." The Fed creates money digitally, then uses it to buy bonds. This is called quantitative easing. Big words. Simple meaning, create money to keep things running. The problem starts here. This works until it doesn't. Because too much money causes inflation, prices rise, savings lose value, life gets expensive. So the Fed has to stop printing. But stopping creates another problem. And this is where things get dangerous. The trap? America now has massive debt, trillions of dollars. That debt needs interest payments, and interest rates are rising. So America must borrow more to pay old debt, or cut spending, or raise taxes. All three hurt. The debt loop. Here's the loop. America spends too much, borrows money, Fed buys debt, money supply grows, inflation rises, rates increase, debt becomes expensive, borrow again, repeat. This is not a plan. This is a trap. What if America stops buying its own debt? Then someone else must buy it. Foreigners? They want higher interest. Higher interest equals more pain. No buyers? Markets panic. Dollar weakens. Stocks fall. Economy shakes. Final takeaway. So why is America buying its own debt? Because it has no easy choice. It keeps control. It avoids panic. It buys time. But time is not a solution. Debt doesn't disappear. It only grows, quietly. The question is not, will this end? The question is how? Slowly or suddenly? Final thought. America is not broke, but it is walking a tightrope. And every year, the rope gets thinner. If you understood this clearly, you're already ahead of most people. Like if this helped. Subscribe for simple explanations of complex money stories. Comment what topic you want next, because the next financial shock will not come with a warning.